Hello, Homestead. This is Greg Giglio with another edition of our weekly video message, getting down to the end of the year here. So only a few more of these left. I think I counted something like 4 Fridays left in the year after today. So it's getting down to the end. But today is April 29th, 2022. And who as always, we start off with our shout outs and recognitions. We had two that were directed to the entire staff. So that's always kind of nice to be able to shout out the whole staff. First one says, all of the staff for the way they handled the transition back to campus for parents and students this year. Excellent communication and execution. Deeply appreciate the care and work to make this extraordinary year a safe and successful one for students. Thank you very much. This has felt like a very difficult year, and so it's nice to hear some of the positive feedback. So thank you. Another one came back for appreciation for the whole staff. Just want to say this is the first time in my grandson's life that he has liked school, he liked going to school, and likes the staff as a whole. So that is also really nice to hear. So again, really appreciative of those kinds of kind words, because it really shows the work that our staff goes through and the dedication that they have. And again, this has been a tough year, but it's nice to make some of these few wins. There were shout outs to John Byrne and Vicki Feltman. John obviously is our music director, and Vicki Feltman is a longtime volunteer in our music department. She also just actually announced her retirement, and so she is going to be going away. So that's very unfortunate for us, but she has been super amazing. But anyway, this shout out went to the two of them for thank you for the amazing trip to Washington, D.C., for the orchestra band. The organization planning it took to make it happen was huge. Thank you very much. And it's a massive undertaking, and she did a lot of great work, and so did John. So thank you, and congratulations to the students who had a really successful trip as well too. All right, so we are looking at some questions and concerns this year. So this one comes up every year, and so saying, is senior skip day or cut day an official excused absence or official school event? No, it is not. It is something that students like to do, but it's not something that we condone, nor that we even suggest you take. Typically what happens is it's the Monday after the senior ball. Senior ball is the 20th, so that would make that Monday the 23rd. But that's not a good day to skip, because it's the last week of school that they're going to be attending school, but it's also the start of senior finals. So I would not suggest cutting that day. One of the things I always try to convince the seniors about, and it's sometimes successful, sometimes not, they actually end a week earlier than the rest of the school. So they kind of have their cut days. They do have to show up to check out of school. They do have to show up at some point to practice graduation, and then there's graduation itself, but they aren't actually going to classes. So consider those like your senior cut days, and go to practice and then go to the beach or go do something. But yeah, please don't do that. It's like I said, so last day of class for seniors is 5/26, and the rest of those days are checkout, graduation, practice, that kind of thing. So that would be helpful. So no, senior cut day is not official. If you call up and say, I'm giving my kids not coming to school because of senior cut day, they're going to be given an unexcused absence. Unexcused absences mean they don't get to make up the work. And so if they miss a final, that would be bad. So again, let's just hang in there to the 26th, and then you've got some time off. Speaking of the senior ball, there's been a lot of buzz about this because we're having it. But number one, we actually sold out for the first time that we've ever, in my time here anyway, and time anybody can remember, we've never sold this thing out. It's at the venue. The venue is in Silver Creek Country Club in San Jose. We have used these guys before, so it's again same size as we've had before, but we haven't sold out. So they do have a limit of 450 attendees. And so when we took a look at the numbers here, 415 of those are Homestead seniors, and that may say, well, why aren't all of them seniors? Well, people do bring in guests or dates or girlfriends or boyfriends that are different schools or even different grade levels. But when we looked at it, it was overwhelmingly, the number was seniors. And so there are a handful that are not. And so that's something that we're going to be taking a look at. And we are looking to try and find some solutions or ways that we might be able to get more people to go to the, we did ask the venue if we could increase the number of attendees, but they said no, that they can't do that. So we are looking for some other ways that we might be able to do that. So please keep your eyes and ears out for some more messaging regarding that. But we're going to see if we can find some space for a few more folks who would like to attend. But understanding that that's disappointing for a lot of people. It wasn't a choice we made to say, let's just have 450 people. This was really the place we could get. We've used it before. We've never hit this number. So again, a good thing that so many people want to go. But unfortunately, not everyone at this point has a ticket to get in. So we're working on that. The question, again, seniors are the big topic right now. So this question was, how many guests are allowed for each student's family at graduation? Are tickets required? We are back to the one single large ceremony where, if you remember last year, we did several smaller ones, and the year before that we did a virtual one. But since we are back to quote unquote normal, we're doing it as we've always done. So the big one at the football stadium. There are no limits on guests. You do not need a ticket to attend. The one thing that is limited, though, especially, is parking. We can fit a lot of people into the stadium. There's a lot of seats. There's also a lot of standing area, but parking is limited. So really be careful and really plan on how you get to school that time. So it is pretty difficult to do that. Also, knowing that it can be pretty hot on that day, and you're sitting in the direct sun, there really is no relief thing. So you either got to dress accordingly, bring some water. You might also want to think about folks who are overly sensitive to heat and to that kind of thing. Maybe they stay at home or they meet you for dinner afterwards or something. But again, other than that, there really is no limitation on who can be there, and you do not need to have a ticket. But parking is very, very hard to come by. We have been hearing some rumors that the game called Assassins is back. And for those of you who don't know what Assassins is, it sounds horrible, but it's meant to be a bit of a fun thing for seniors. And that basically what happens is you sign up for it, you get a list of people that you're supposed to quote unquote assassinate. They assassinate with Nerf guns or water balloons or water pistols or whatever like that. But as you can see, the name of it and some of the activities of it can create some problems. And so it is not a school sanctioned event. It is not something that we would ever condone and we would never allow to happen. I know a lot of usually they say, oh, don't go to campus and don't do this. But when you involve the Homestead kids, it does become our jurisdiction. We're hearing rumors. We're not sure if this is true or not, but we would just ask, if it is going on out there, that you please do not allow your child to participate. There are stories every year about people being mistaken for burglars, being, stopped by police because of suspicious behavior. And so there have been actually some injuries and stuff that have gone along with this. So not on our side, thankfully. Whenever we've seen one, we shut it down. So if we do find out about it and we do have more information, we will try to shut it down. But again, you can help us in that regard, and just ask your kids to find a different way to have some fun at the end of the year here. But this is not the greatest solution for that. So again, please make sure that kids aren't playing this game. That brings us to traffic reminders. I want to remind people about the student lot. We've talked about some of the other areas, but the student lot, this is a place where staff and students do park. There are specific spaces for staff. And part of the reason why we have staff in that parking lot is we gave up some of the construction, or gave up spots to construction workers so they can be working on the building. So we had to move some staff members over. That's been happening for several years now. But that is a place where students can be dropped off and picked up. It is another valid location for that. Just like anywhere in and around campus, traffic gets really busy 5 to 10 minutes before and after school. So if you can plan your drop off and pick up accordingly, come a little bit earlier than that. Come 15, 20 minutes early, or even 30 minutes early. You can to drop your kid off. Don't drop. One of the hard things is when people come early and then they wait and they block traffic. That's not a great idea. But also, if you pick your child up, 15 to 20 minutes after school's over, there won't be as much traffic. So again, think about some of those things. And maybe in that 15 to 20 minutes, they can check in with the teacher and see what kind of work they need to have done. If you are coming to the student lot to drop off a student, we do ask that you be thoughtful of the cars coming in behind you, because a lot of times what happens is people stop right there in the middle and then the students can't get around them to go park, and then they're late for class. So if you are dropping off, try and move over to the left as much as you can so the car can swing by you and go over into the parking areas to try and park. So that would be super helpful. Just a reminder that the speed limit in all our areas, whether it's the access road, the student lot, or the staff lot, is 5 miles per hour. We're definitely seeing people driving much faster than that. And again, that is a very dangerous thing, because we got kids walking through, we have people coming between cars. Just really keep an eye out. So 5 miles per hour in the parking lot only, please. And people still get confused on this, but there really is only one entrance and one exit to the student lot. We see people coming in through the exit all the time, or even trying to sneak out the other way if it's getting busy. So please don't do that. That is how traffic accidents can happen. And we have had accidents happen with those before. At the exit, at this exit, you can turn right and turn left. So please try to use 2 lanes as you're going in and out. Talking about the student lot, there are charging stations in there. It's along the fence line there between the access road and the student lot. There are charging stations on both sides of the fence. On the access road, that's for staff only. In the student lot, it is for students and staff. Anyone can charge there. And on the weekends, actually, public can even charge after there. So we just ask that you do that after hours or on the weekend. You don't do it during the school days if you're a member of the public. Even though your son or daughter might go to school, that doesn't give you the right to then pull your car in there and sit there. It needs to be a student or a staff member. You can come after school and park, or our neighbors can come in and park and charge their cars up. So that's one of the benefits of living next to the high school. So you get a charging station right there. Back to important dates. That's wrapping things up. Nothing really new that I've added here. So if you've watched the last few of our videos, you will have seen all these things before. So if you want to pause here and take a look at what some of these things are and write some of these down, that'd be great. You can find all of these on our calendar. They're always mentioned in our bell schedule as well too. But they haven't really changed in a couple weeks. So wanted to just put those back up there. And again, you can see we're getting down to the end here. So it's we're less than 27 days or something like that at this point. So the end is nigh, as they like to say. Anyway, I appreciate you sticking around with us and listening to this week's video. The submissions are starting to dwindle a little bit, which is pretty normal towards the end of the year. But again, if you have questions or comments or suggestions or shout outs, please keep those coming in. That's how I get the information to then go ahead and do some of these videos. So it's really helpful for me. It's helpful for others to hear your questions too. So anyway, have a great weekend. Have a great end of April and welcoming May next week. Take care, and we'll see you soon.